What's up? My name is Bree. Welcome to my channel, Bree the Humannequin. So my last video was about can men and women be friends? Before that one, it was about when I like them, they don't like me. And with those two videos, of course, a lot of men came to the comment section. I will say in the beginning of a lot of my, or at least the ones about relationships, I get a lot of supportive comments because that's likely the people that are subscribed to me. But as the weeks progress, I start getting a lot of angry, hateful types of comments. And I was looking over my comments last night and I was like so annoyed. There were just so many men in the comments saying things to be like, I'll read them to you, okay? But it was just hitting me with the nobody wants your ass anyway energy. Something that I realized I didn't say in that video, when I like them, they don't like me. I think it was implied. But what I was saying was not, I don't have any men attracted to me. That is not true. What I was saying was, when I am attracted to a man, the feelings are not reciprocated to me. I was not saying I don't have people interested in me. I thought that was implied, but I think I didn't mention that. As I was looking over these comments, because I go through my comments and try to reply to as many as I can, and I was looking over them last night, and it was getting to the point where I was like, let me stop trying to defend myself to these men who clearly don't know me. They watched this one video. A lot of them were like, 4 minutes in, gonna click away. Here's all your problems. Da 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 da. First of all, you don't even know me. Okay, but I'm gonna go through the comments. I thought that would be fun. The purpose of this video is really to demonstrate why a lot of women, including myself, are just not finding viable men, which was the thing that I was saying. I'm not out here finding Prince Charmings, okay? I'm finding these motherfuckers in my comment section is who I'm running into in real life, and that's why I'm still single. I thought I made that clear, but I think I just left it up to interpretation. I really don't think I made it clear. So this is what this video is supposed to be about, and I would love to get your input and see what you think. If you have some similar experiences to this, let me know, but here we go. Okay, so this first person says, it's two different comments, but the first one says, I don't want to leave a million comments, but I think there's a good black man out there waiting for you. Y'all just might not be on the same wavelength at the moment. In terms of beliefs or preferences in partners, I say change your hair back to black and just put yourself in spaces where you can talk to men with similar interests, like running club. So there are some issues with this comment. First off, I think there's a good black man out there waiting for you. I'm not limiting myself to just black men. I've done that before. And I've said before that I have some cultural issues with black men. I can just address it briefly right now. Black men and black culture in general tends to skew conservative. I am a very liberal, progressive person. I do not want a partner who has issues with gay people or trans people. I do not want a partner who is expecting traditional gender roles or says misogynistic things or homophobic things, and I do not want a partner who prescribes to toxic masculinity. Subscribes to toxic masculinity, and that's just something that I've seen rampant in the black community. It's not one of those situations where I would not date a black man. In fact, one of my current crushes right now is a black man. Also, black people tend to skew religious. I did see that he is religious, and I don't know how I feel about that. I myself am an atheist, so that's how I feel about that. That's why I don't want to limit myself to just black men. It's just really hard to find a black man who is not conservative in that way. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying they're rare. It says y'all just might not be on the same wavelength at the moment in terms of beliefs or preference in partners. I think that's a bit weird thing to say, because then that means they're not for me. If we don't share the same beliefs or preferences, which means he's not attracted to me or vice versa, or not attracted to the type of person that I am or vice versa, that sounds like that person's not for me. They say change your hair back to black. I don't like that. Don't tell me what to do with my body. Don't tell me what to do with my hair. I feel an intense rage when men tell me to change my hair color to black. What they're saying is that this is not a traditional woman's hair. What do I look too? Do I look too liberal? What do I look? Somebody said I look punk rock. And I'm like, that's not. You need to drop your assumptions on on me there. I don't even listen to rock music. Hair is red because I think it goes well with my complexion, but I don't like that. But anyway, let's keep going. There are a lot of comments on here from black men that are questioning my black men comment. Hopefully I answered that. I think that's a very reasonable answer because it is what it is. I don't know how I feel about this comment. Also, I'm not looking at all the comments. I'm looking at only the recent ones because that's when I'm recording this. I can only go back so far. I'm sure there's some jewels down there, but there's a person, he said, basically, you did not know these guys had girlfriends, which I didn't. Whenever I like a guy, I never know that he has a girlfriend. A lot of people took issue with that too, men and women. Let me clear that up. When I start liking somebody, I don't know that they have a girlfriend. I start liking them first and I find out that they have a girlfriend later, but after that, it's too late. I'm already attracted to them. I don't know how to turn it off. But I also acknowledge that I was a pick-me in those situations for waiting out those relationships. I said that in the video as well, okay? Stop pointing out things I already pointed out myself. They said, you feel miserable to yourself because you don't got a man in your life. You think that's the end of the world and you gain all this weight. Now you coming out telling us all about all the guys you dated in the past. I'm trying to figure out maybe not guys that dating is the problem. Maybe you're not taking yourself more seriously. You're dating guys that who has the money, who can buy you that. You're not looking at guys who has a regular job, who works at Walmart, who works at a fast food restaurant, who works at a grocery store. You're not looking at those guys. Looking at you want to take care of you, and I think that's wrong. Okay, so this one is a little bit all over the place, but I'm gonna try to get through it. You feel miserable because you don't got a man in your life. I feel unhappy because my life is out of balance. I have a great life. I have a life that many people would envy. I have a great apartment. I live in a great side of town. Honestly, that's really the only thing that I could say that's missing is a partner, and I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a person to share your life with. I'm not miserable because I ain't got no man. This person said I gained all this weight. Actually, I gain weight when I'm in relationships. A lot of the times when you're in a relationship with somebody, you're eating when they're eating, and sometimes that's not always when you want to eat, and so you're eating more than when you would when you're by yourself. I actually lose weight every time I get out of a relationship. One of the highest weights I've ever been was in a relationship I was in for almost 2 years, so that person's making assumptions. So the thing that really gets me on this comment is they said you're not looking at a regular guy who works at Walmart or a fast food restaurant or a grocery store. Hell no, you goddamn right, bitch. I have a whole degree with 2 E's at the end, okay? What? Working at Walmart, making minimum wage, at a fast food restaurant, making minimum wage, at a grocery store, making minimum wage. No. I said I have to be dating somebody that is making a living wage. Minimum wage is currently not a living wage. No, period. That means there's going to be some unequal amount of effort and work done on my part. I know, I've done it before. I have done that before. No. What? No. This person left actually a really nice, thoughtful comment, but they started with, no lie, I'm not normally attracted to black women, but you're pretty for sure. That just gives me the ick. I know that the rest of their comment is very nice, but don't start with that, I would say. Because if somebody said that to me in real life, I'd be like, okay, this one's perfect. Okay. You are educated, but you are indecisive. Okay. We're not starting off too bad. You don't have wife traits. Okay. Let's keep going. Not having a relationship longer than a year is how I came to that conclusion. I don't know how. Also, you have a type no matter their ethnicity. You like Boba, Chad, Lee, and Tyrone. Who the fuck is Boba? I just know the T, so I don't know. You're not giving off long term. You're giving fun girl vibes. Fun girl who likes girls. Okay. Let's take that from the top. Okay, you're educated, but you're indecisive. I'm not sure how that person came to the conclusion that I'm indecisive. I'm thinking about it, and I don't know where I gave off that vibe. Maybe I did. I didn't watch the video before I came here. You don't have wife traits. First of all, wife traits, hitting on that conservative, toxic masculinity type of energy that I already am saying no to, don't like. Not having a relationship longer than a year is how I came to that conclusion. I don't know what type of information you got from that to assume that I don't have wife traits. If you must know, I ended my first relationship because he started choking me. I ended my second relationship because he wasn't paying any rent. He was just living in my house really briefly. First off, we had a big age difference. I made a whole video about it. I will link it once again. I was 28. He was 21. He was still in college. And I thought maybe I can still make it work because he was very intelligent. I said at the end of that video, the biggest difference between us was actually in our bank account. We're cool. Me and him, we talked about it and stuff. I don't want to talk bad on him. But I had a full-time job. I was making an adult salary and he was still a student. And before he was living with me, he was living with his mom and he wasn't paying any rent. And when I asked him to do things around the house, like clean up, I don't know if it was toxic masculinity kicking in, but he did not want to do that. He thought that I was supposed to work full time and clean up and do things around the house. Sounds like toxic masculinity. I'm not really sure. He did used to cook, so maybe that wasn't the case. You have a type no matter their ethnicity. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh, I think what he's saying, because okay, I don't know who Boba is. I know about the Chad, the Lee, the Tyrone. Those are some incel terms, so I know those. I'm guessing Boba is another race. Who is Boba? Is Boba African? Is Boba Indian? I don't know. But the fact that he used incel terminology automatically also puts him at a no. You're not giving off long term. That's fair. I'll say that. You're giving fun girl vibes. A lot of people see that my hair is red and assume that I can't be a responsible adult even though it's 2024. That's also, to me, given some conservative type of energy, which I already said I don't like. And he said, a fun girl who likes girls. I think he's picturing somebody who's out here partying up a storm and kissing girls at the bar. I don't do that. Okay, so this person actually sounds like somebody that I could know. The only time I'll pull a no-show and ghosting on a date is if I try to plan a date at a specific place and the woman insults my choice and suggests something else, usually more expensive. Mind you, this is very situational and depends on her tone. If she makes an alternate suggestion because it's been on her list for a while, that's cool. But if she insults my choice or tries to change a drink date to a dinner date, or she tries to drain money out of me, I will no-show and ghost and I'll laugh about it. My issue with that one is it seems very childish. Why laugh about it? It's not funny. I'm gonna hope this person is in their early 20s. It's the only time when something like wasting somebody's time in such a way is acceptable. If you don't like them or you don't like their choice, you could just tell them. This person says, the not having self-awareness is insane for me. You think too damn much, you talk too damn much, just chill out. Gross. There's a lot of men on here who are saying that I talk too much, and I just think that might just be the difference between men and women. I think women are just more cerebral or mental than men are. I think that we like to pick apart our emotions and our thoughts a lot more than men do. Something that I'm realizing and why I find it really difficult to just have male friends, because male friends do think that way. They think that you're talking too much, you're too emotional about this thing, and they just want you to let shit go and just be chill. And my answer to that is no. Sorry. Nope. This person says, I don't feel sorry for women like this. I guarantee there's plenty of guys she played with their emotions, wouldn't give a chance just because she thought she could do better. God could send her a man made for her and she wouldn't take him serious because of something petty. Women like this self-sabotage themselves and play the victim. First off, there's a lot of assumptions being made here because I don't know where people are getting that. It sounds like there are people in these comments that have been hurt and they're projecting that onto me for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I didn't do anything to them. I'm trying not to make it like me just defending myself here. I'm trying to point out the flaws in what this person is saying. So my thought when I see this is he didn't listen to me. So it doesn't sound like this person would be a good match because they sound like they have their own narrative that they're already following in their mind and that's all they heard. This person says there's no such thing as a pick-me. Stop labeling yourself that. Silly feminists made that up. So there is such a thing as a pick-me. The male version of a pick-me is a simp, and I'm pretty sure you know what that is. A simp or a nice guy is essentially when you change yourself to become the person you think this other person wants you to be in order for you to date them. If I like this guy and he's really into motorcycles, I might pretend like I'm really into motorcycles too in order to get his attention. Or something that I did when I was in college, I liked a guy who was into video games. Specifically, he was into Final Fantasy. So I pretended like I was really into video games, which I do. I play video games, but not as much as him and his friend group did. So I tried to infiltrate the friend group by like seeming like I was really cool and like, yeah, I play video games and all the other nerdy shit that they were into. I just pretended, yeah, I do all that stuff. I was just trying to be like a cool girl who was into that stuff. When really, when I said I play video games, what I meant was I played Harvest Moon in The Sims. It's changing yourself to fit what you think this other person is attracted to. This person says, women like men that other women like. Breaking news. But wait, you liking Asian men is pretty telling. Liking women is also telling. This person likes doing the ellipsis. Putting up with someone choking you solely because they were paying your bills. Very telling. You're single because you need to be. No harm, no foul there. They said, but wait, you liking Asian men is pretty telling. Why? How? Also, their name is Chinito, which means Asian looking in Spanish. So that's very interesting that they said that. I'm like, are they Asian or are they Hispanic and they have been told that they look Asian? Liking women is also telling. There's a lot of guys here who do not like that I said I was bi. I don't know what that's about. Putting up with someone choking you solely because they were paying your bills, very telling. Actually, it's very common. There are a lot of people out there who are putting up with domestic violence situations because if they weren't, they would be homeless. Whatever. But yeah, it's the lack of empathy that's happening in this comment. This person sounds very ignorant. Yeah, I don't like that. This person says, maybe you should try wearing your real hair. This is my real hair and I grew it. I'm assuming what they mean is like wearing it the color it came out of my head. And for that, I would say I've only had red hair for 1 year of my life. 95% of my entire life, my hair was my natural hair color. So I'm sorry, that advice is just it's not gonna work for me. Somebody said Lil Boosie indicted again. The feds finna hide that man this time. Okay. LMAO, if you're single because the ones you like don't like you, sweet girl, that means you're trying to date out of your league. You're decent looking enough. You just need to date in your own pool. That's where you should start from there. If it's still not working, then you have personal, emotional issues you'll need to resolve. The TLDR is you're the problem and no one else is. Where to start? That means you're trying to date out of your league. When I stop liking that person, when I move on from that person and I turn around and I look at them again, they're very average looking to me. There have been plenty of times where I've liked guys who were less attractive than me, and there have been times where I have liked guys who were more attractive than me. That doesn't really happen that often. I think for the most part, I like guys that are of my average attractiveness, but people just assume that. I don't know why people assume that I like the Chads and the Tyrones and I guess the Bobas and the Lees. First of all, y'all talking like my daddy. This is how my 50-year-old daddy talks. So I'm guessing y'all some old heads saying that. It sounds like some old heads speak. They say you're decent looking enough. You just need to date in your own pool. I want to know who do they think is in my pool? Who do they think I'm trying to date? I'm trying to think of somebody that they could possibly think I'm trying to date. My first thought is just Channing Tatum, but then they're gonna be like, see, I knew you only like white guys. Who's a black guy who's relevant? I'm just not up on culture right now. On like any pop culture at all. Oh, what's his face? Let's just say Michael B. Jordan. I actually don't know if he's in my league or not. I don't really know how I appear to people. I think I have like reverse body dysmorphia. I think it's also you're watching me on the internet. You're probably comparing me to other people on the internet. I don't know if you're comparing me to like these Insta baddies or something. When I like somebody, normally I like them because of their personality and I like who they are. Or they've said something to me that I liked. I've had a conversation with them or they were nice to me. There's one guy, this was high school, but this is just an example. He was tall, really gangly looking. He had a gigantic Adam's apple and a small head, and I started liking him because I was reaching into the refrigerator, the sliding glass door on the refrigerator. I was reaching into it behind him, and as I reached in there to grab a yogurt, it was gonna close on my hand, and he turned around and he stopped it from closing on my hand, and I liked him ever since then. He did not like me back. So there was another guy that I liked who I also thought was very average looking. Personally, I thought I was prettier than him, but I went trick-or-treating with him and my best friend at the time. They were friends. He just had this magnetic personality. I started liking him from that, and he did not reciprocate my feelings. But that was all in high school. But those are the most obvious ones. Liked plenty of average looking guys. Trust me. It's annoying to hear guys say that. First of all, they're trying to like discount my attractiveness by saying you must be going out of your league because you're cute, but you're not that cute. First off, once again, this is the internet. You're comparing me to other internet people. In real life, this is a completely different situation. I'm not trying to say that I freaking turn heads, even though I do. And there are people who think that's arrogant. I'm definitely not ugly. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like that I have confidence in myself, then I don't know. So when people say like, you must be shooting out of your league, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not out here trying to date male models. I'm out here trying to date regular ass men. But it's just like the way they're just trying to diss me and like shut me down by saying that. There's so many people here that say that they feel the same way, and I definitely feel for them. There's also a lot of assholes in here. Honestly, I would say it's an even mix of really nice people, which, thank you, and I see you, and I feel you, and it fucking sucks, I know, and fucking assholes, really. I feel like that's what this is, really. It's the nice people, the nice ones of us are out here dealing with assholes, okay? And it sucks. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying like I can't find anybody to date. You want to know the truth? Most people are undateable. I thought that was implied in my video. Apparently, I did not make that clear. Most men that I come across are undateable. They have some major flaw that is keeping me from being interested in them. Either they are a misogynist or they are, I don't want to be mean, that are not the best in terms of physical specimens. And I'm not talking about the face. I mean, the body. Men past the age of 30 do not keep up with their physical health or their physical fitness. And I am an active person, and I do care about my physical appearance, and I care about looking cute and looking nice. And men just be looking any type of way, and they let themselves go. They're not healthy. They're not eating healthy. I feel like it's implied that I'm just supposed to overlook that. And I'm sorry, I can't. That still matters to me. Maybe if I was at that level, I am a healthy weight for my height. I want my man to also be a healthy weight for his height. A lot of guys in here are assuming that I like some 6 foot tall alpha chad. That is not the case. One of my most recent interests actually is exactly that. But he liked me first. I wasn't even looking at him. I didn't even notice him until he liked me first. That's not normal. I don't normally like guys that look like that. I like guys that are average build, average height. I'm okay with a short king. I regularly like guys that are under 5'9", but that doesn't seem to make a difference. A crush that I had started when I was in college. For 10 years, I held the torch for this man. Obviously, I dated other people and liked other people, but if he came around, I was always going to be like, okay, yes, what? Had to be 5'8", 5'9" at the tallest. Stop putting that on me and on other women. Maybe it is for other women, but it's not a huge thing for me. But that's what I'm saying. Like, stop making assumptions of what you think I like. You don't know. Let me tell you. Don't just assume. You don't know. I don't know if I want to do anymore. I feel like that's probably enough. I feel like some of those weren't that bad. Not as bad as some of the ones that I saw. Because I just... Safira, you okay? My dog just did a creepy exorcist whine. There's a lot of guys in the comments who are saying things like a cat lady in the making. I want to be like, I'm a cat lady right now, bitch. What you talking about? I had one of my cats passed away last year, but I did have 2 cats and a dog. Right now I have 1 cat and a dog. I'm looking for another cat right now. So what? Proud cat lady in the present. But ultimately, the thing that I feel like I did not get across in that video is I have not met a partner that meets my basic standards, who is available, who has returned my interest. Period. That's what I was saying in that video. That's really it. I have very reasonable standards. But that's the video. I took a break for a long time because I didn't really know. It seems like I have some people here that want to know about loneliness and things like that. And I got some people who are here for more relationship type of commentary stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I balance that? I could honestly sit here and talk about anything. I have a lot of opinions on everything. everything, and I really like talking things out. But that's as much as I am willing to look into this today. Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Would you date any of these guys? What do you think about my standards? Do you think they're fair? I think they're fair, honestly. Anyway, I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I want to give some positive energy for you at the end there. I've seen some people do that, and I'm like, I love that. Definitely give me a like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to see more content from me. Give me a comment for the algorithm if you don't really have anything to say. That's a great way to support my channel. My channel has been growing. I've reached 10,000 subs. Ooh. Sorry, I'm really corny. Anyway, I appreciate all the support, and you guys are super, super awesome. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.